My name is Alessandra Pacini. I work at the CU CIRES Institute at NOAA, and I am a space weather scientist. When I was a child in Brazil, I didn't really know anything about the scientific careers. I didn't know that it was possible to be a scientist, and I knew nothing about space science specifically. But then I watched a movie when I was teenager in high school. The movie's name is Contact, which is a science fiction movie, but it's based in a book from Carl Sagan, which was an astrophysicist, and showed the life of an astronomer. And I realized that a woman could be a scientist, and actually we could investigate the physics and the process happens in the space. And I decided to pursue this career. My research is related to every physical process that happens in the magnetosphere of the Earth, and that is related to the interaction between the solar wind and our environment in the geospace. So we study plasma waves, for example, in the magnetosphere using magnetometers on board of satellites. And for that, we use NOAA satellite, like GOES, that is in the magnetosphere, or also DISCOVER, that is in the solar wind. We measure the magnetic field around the satellites, and then we can understand better the magnetic field in the interplanetary median and also the magnetic field around the Earth in the geostationary orbit. Well, the upper atmosphere, it starts more or less in 100 kilometers altitude. It's defined more as the region in the atmosphere that you can find electrons, free electrons. So it's a plasma region. It's not like a neutron atmosphere. So you have free charges in this atmospheric layer. So we do have, we call it actually ionosphere because it's full of ions and electrons, and it's a plasma region. So this region is very hard to study, like probing in situ, because it's not like you send a balloon with like you do with the meteorological research, that you study the lower levels of the atmosphere. Space weather is the conditions of the geospace, so it's much more related to what is happening to the Earth due to these changes on the sun. And nowadays, because we are thinking of space explorations, we are also interested on the space weather around other bodies in the solar system. Earth's weather and everything that we are familiar with, the clouds and the rain and the precipitation, all of those things happen in a very thin layer of atmosphere. So we are talking about phenomena that happens in the first 10 kilometers in the atmosphere. That's everything we know about the meteorological weather that we are interested every day to check if it's going to rain, if it's going to snow, if there will be a hurricane or something like that. Everything happens in this first layer that we call tropopause. The space weather, it's thinking about the upper atmosphere. So we are talking about 100 kilometers upper. So we are talking about the ionosphere and the magnetosphere. It is related to the Earth, but not like very close to us, not where we are living now. It's a region that is surrounding our planet. It's actually protecting us from the space environment, because we can have the life we have down here on the surface, because we have these layers filtering out the high energetic particles and high energetic radiation from space, because the space is very hostile for life. I wish that everybody knew about space weather is one, that there is a weather on space, that our planet is living inside a star's wind. So we live inside the solar wind, and whatever perturbations that happens in our star, the sun, and in their solar wind, it's gonna change our environment, in our space environment around the Earth. So I would like to have everybody aware of this connection of our planet to our star, because one, I think this is very beautiful, and two, because this is really impacting our technology and our life nowadays. So everybody has GPS on the cell phone and has like internet via satellite. And so the use of those technologies that we have nowadays depends on the conditions of the space weather. So I wish everybody could understand that we live in a star's wind, and we have the interference of it every day.